So we have now this makes so much sense, but that, like I said earlier, someone would have to instigate that move, because it's not just enough to talk about it. There should be. I understand the fact that if it's a fashion week, it shouldn't be plus size fashion week, because it's nothing like the small size fashion week. It's fashion week. It should be all encompassing, both with the plus size and also the regular size. Well, regular size is what is regular size in that regular a plus
small.
But really, well, we have given them the name regular, but really, what is regular? That means if that's regular, that means the plus size is irregular. Which is not, which doesn't make so much sense. But I'm glad I started with the plus size market and still continue the plus size market. Now let's as a part of fashion. Now let's look at some challenges before we go into fashion generally. Some challenges that has been the plus size market has been saddled with in, let's say, in the past 10 years or 10 to 15 years.
Okay. All right, so first, I mentioned already that representation. Plus size market lacks representation. There's no visual representation, there's no media representation, there's no print representation. Even on your TV screens, when you're watching actresses, you have very few roles that you're going to see plus size women playing, or even the male industry now, like plus size in general, now not only talking about the female. So we need more representation in that part. Also, to our retailers, you need to include plus size in the way in what you showcase. We have very few. You're going to get into stores, they may even have the designs in bigger sizes, but the mannequins are even representing smaller sizes. How do you want me to get into a shop and what I'm looking at that is going to be representing what I want to buy is a smaller size?
And then they use pins to hold it.
Do you understand? And you use pin. The funny part is that what you're wearing on that mannequin is a bigger size.
Now you use pin to make it small.
But you want everybody to feel like if you're not in a small size, you're not beautiful. It's this small size that is giving you that. Everybody wants to be thick in the right areas, right? But why are you now excluding the real thick people? Why? So in retail, we need to include plus size clothing in our visuals. In the fashion industry itself, needs to include plus size women in the representation, how you represent plus size women. So I think those are the challenges. Representation, basically, both in the retail industry and both in media or print.
You just imputed the solutions in the challenge. Okay. Now let's look at generally the fashion world in itself. Would you say it's been progressive over the years, or with regressive? I don't like to use that word, but for lack of better words.
The funny part is that the fashion industry is actually an industry that is actually growing at a speed of light. In Africa especially, we're promoting the African culture. Even look at international brands, they are taking away from our culture and they're selling it to us as luxury, as something new. So we're buying it, we like it. Do you understand? We like the international name and all of that, but also the fashion people now want to buy made in Nigeria because of the fact that a lot of us are supporting sustainability, we're supporting our homegrown product, we're also supporting the fact that we want the economy to grow. And how do you grow an economy if you're not growing the sectors that are within it? And fashion industry is one major part of the sector, the economy in Nigeria that is growing, that is doing well. There's so much opportunity right now. There's so much people playing in this field. You don't have to be a fashion designer only. You can be a stylist. You can be a fashion illustrator. You can be a digital artist. Now you don't need to have physical product to be a fashion designer anymore. You can have virtual products that you're selling. You can NFTs and all of these things. So the industry is growing, and the fact that Nigeria itself, like we're the leading country when it comes to Africa, so we're the face of Africa when it comes to fashion, and we're doing really well. The industry is growing.
Now looking at appreciating some of the fashion works of notable fashion entrepreneurs in Nigeria, you could see that a lot of criticism can come from left, right, and center from people who don't even understand what fashion is about. For instance, looking at Fiona Place Empire, Tony Lawani, she does incredibly amazing work, but a lot of persons would have, maybe because they're not used to something like that. Or what do you think in terms of appreciating? Because she had complained about that, she mentions it, talks about it.
So first I need to say that Tony Lawani is a fashion queen. You cannot take it. Like nobody can take it from her right now. A lot of people are playing safe. Tony Lawani is bold. She does it bold, and the fun part, that's what you're going to be paying for when you go on international runways. It's not basic. Growing up, when I watch fashion runways, they are pieces that they're not regular. They're not things that you're going to wear. It's your creative mind that is playing out of the box, and she's she's the only one that can give, that's currently giving us that value right now. A lot of people now, that same creative space, they're putting it into NFTs, they're putting it into digital fashion, but she's creating it and bringing it to life. You can see it in real. So I think a lot of people, you know, we have a lot of online bullies and all of these things. They don't know what they're saying, really. If you actually understand creativity and the industry very well, you appreciate Tony Lawani's work. A lot of people should go, a lot of fashion, you know, upcoming fashion designers should go study Tony Lawani, and you actually get a lot from her creativity. She's doing amazing.
No, yeah, I totally agree what you have to say or what you were saying. But aside the online bully, so you think Nigerian entrepreneurs or some Nigeria in itself as a nation appreciates her work?
Yes, they do. The funny part is that people pay for Tony's work. Tony's not cheap.
Yeah.
Do you understand? People pay for it. If you don't appreciate something like that, you won't be paying for it. And the funny part is that it's just few of our works that come online. If I've been to, I went to the study out for a day. It wasn't very clear. They are extremely busy. Who are those? It's just I don't want to use the word that just came to mind, but it's people that have very small thinking. That would not appreciate Tony's work.
You've already mentioned coping with the competitors, and also, well, there's a need to know, like you said, focus on your focus. I like the fact that you said that. But what are the challenges you think Nigerian fashion industry are saddled with? Well, one of it, before we started, I like the fact you gave us an estimate of what it is currently and what it will be like in 5 years estimated. I like that estimation now. But aside the forex, Nigerian forex, the foreign markets, that the dollar is currently depreciating with the naira is depreciating with the dollar appreciating every single time, which is affecting local investors now, also international investors. Aside that, which is already a factor, we'll come back to that. What are other challenges you could say Nigerian fashion industry is saddled with at the moment?
All right, so I think the first thing that it's funding.
Okay, funding from the entrepreneurs or the government?
No, so both from the government, entrepreneurs, you already self-funded yourself starting the business.
Most fashion businesses are so proprietorship, as a matter of fact.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you started with the funds that you have. But the funny part is that every business, fashion design, fashion especially, we need funding. There should be grants, there should be aids, there should be support.
But there are grants.
There are.
It's accessing the grants that's the problem.
No, the funny part is that a lot of people just don't know. I've been privileged to win over 4 grants.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand? And these grants are there. They're coming up every day. But a lot of people don't know. But it's because they're not even bringing it down. I'm talking about, so these grants, most of the time, they're private investments, right? What is the government doing to support this economy that is giving you guys so much? What are you giving back to these people to? I heard that our president just signed in the SME, what's it called now?
SME budget, that was yesterday.
And so I'm hoping that this is going to translate to, they said that there'll be funding for SMEs and all of that. So SMEs need money. Getting money, what's this going to do for your business? Your business is going to be more viable. You have daily running costs. You can employ people. That's another sector of supporting the economy. You can also begin to train. At the same time, you can begin to export your product. You can only export because you have money to produce. If you don't have money to produce, you cannot export. And the funny part is that there's markets for what we are currently doing, African products, Nigerian products, our cultural products outside the country. The market is huge. An Ankara dress that you're going to be selling here for like a 15,000-20,000 naira, you will sell it in dollars or in pounds wherever you're taking it to. And the funny part, this money is coming back into this economy and it's rotating. So that's one thing, funding. Another thing that you mentioned it earlier that I do not agree to, which is the competition. The fact that a lot of people now, they want to identify with the so-called known brands. So it's like the known ones are struggling.